Hello, BookTube. Football as well, out there in BookTube land. Yeah, I can get my hands on any Coors. Going with the Clydesdales. Cheers, my friends. This is the My Favorite Writers tag. And I think what page are you on? Kind of got the ball rolling on this. And then Steve Donahue decided to turn it into a tag, so here we are. It's supposed to be 15 of your favorite writers. I'm sorry, I'm watching a wasp. They're flying around. If you can hear me over the air conditioning. So 15 of your favorite writers. Supposed to have 6 not quite, 4 maybes, and 5 favorites. And I've watched several takes on this, and I will agree that generally your tastes change as you pick up on new authors, old authors, backlists, yada yada yada, and mine certainly has changed over, actually since I've been on BookTube. Thanks. So this, when I first looked at the tag, I'm like, I don't even know 15 authors that are my favorites. So I was like, I don't even know if I can do the tag. And then I walked in here and started going through my library, which is not that well organized, but I basically know where everything's at. Sort of. So, I tried to put these in order best I could, and kind of ticks me off because I had to leave some people out. So I was like shifting them out and going, okay, well, I don't want to do without this one. And it's kind of like when you tag people, you always feel like you're going to leave someone out, you know. But since you can't name everyone, kind of down to that. So, but 15 actually was a heck of a challenge for me. Alright, so let's get the ball rolling. Number 15. Alan Dean Foster, Midworld. I'm sure I got some people on this one. Midworld has made it onto a great many tags that I've done. It's one of my favorite books because it got me into the sci-fi genre. So that's 15. And right when I said that, I just remembered that I left someone out. But I'm going to go on. So, 14. Louis L'Amour. Read a great deal of his books. And Louis L'Amour, a lot of people don't get it. Like I've said before, you'd get it if you ever rode horseback, hunted, fished, lived off the land, been out in the middle of nowhere with nothing but a gun and your wits, or, well, you don't have to be that smart to wander around the woods. Okay, well, if you think nature's benign, trust me, it can be a very unforgiving place. And every locale and terrain has its challenges. Been in the eastern woodlands, been out west, been in the jungle, different places. It's nature's beautiful. It's also a little bit dangerous. Okay, 13. Elmore Leonard. Really great at dialogue, and I picked that up from Lucy over at BookX. She goes, hey, you want to read some good dialogue? Pick up Elmore Leonard. That's what got me into Elmore Leonard. 12. Cordwainer Smith. Because he was a pioneer. One of the pioneers of sci-fi. Oh, that's going to fall over. Then we have Octavia Butler. A lot of social commentary and just there's just a lot to her work. And Kindred here was not really science fiction, it was more fantasy, but it's really well done. And she took notes from Harlan Ellison. Ray Bradbury. Ray Bradbury. Got into Ray Bradbury a little bit because my cousin was heavily into science fiction, and then Robert McCammon mentioned him in one of his books, and I went, found The Story of the Lake, and I was hooked. It was really something. Now, it's going to be a problem here because I can't find my book. So, I'm going to have to hang on. Let me pause for a second. I found it. I'm probably going to screw this up because, like I said, these were some really tough decisions. I was looking for Ursula K. Le Guin. Word for World is Forest. Again, pioneer. Her work's a bit deeper than, good writing's always goes beyond superficial things. It's not like a soap opera. There has to be that human element, something you can identify with. I recently finished The Lathe of Heaven. It's really good. So, yeah, had actually not read any Ursula K. for quite a while, and then I think Charles Booksage brought her up, and I was like, I need to get back into reading some Ursula K. So that's what I did. Let me try to figure out which number I'm on. I think this is, I told you I was going to screw this up. Alright, we're on track. Terry Pratchett. Got into Terry Pratchett. My kids had the Discworld game way back in the early 90s. And then I saw Jenna, Bibliofilth, and I know Dane Reed's a big Terry Pratchett fan. I was like, well, I'm going to have to try some Terry Pratchett. And once I tried it, I was hooked, and I will be reading more Pratchett. Next we have Langston Hughes. And this is another author I'm fairly new to, but when you like somebody, because it's just one book's all it takes. And I enjoyed this, and we'll be reading more of Langston Hughes. Dee Brown wrote a few novels, wrote some great nonfiction. This is one of my favorites of his, Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. I read The Westerners. Right offhand, I can't recall some of his other stuff, but if you've never read this, you should. Another person that I've started reading within the last year is James Baldwin. Just really good writing. A lot of these writers, I'm like, I wish I could write like that. But, James Baldwin. We have Dan Simmons. This is one of my favorite books of his, but Dan Simmons, he can pretty much write anything he wants to. Read The Song of Kylie, Love, Death, I've Lost Track. He works in various genres, so I'm sure everyone knows who Dan Simmons is.
Pardon me?
And then we go back to my horror fiction days and Robert McCammon. Read a bunch of his stuff, and with him, a lot of his stuff was 80s, early 90s, and just kind of, he quit for a while, and so I moved on, but he's still one of my favorite writers. And then I have to mention Stephen King. I don't read Stephen King anymore, but I have a lot of his books, and I enjoy his writing. I did promise Graham Quigley that I was going to read Dr. Sleep, which is the sequel to The Shining, and I will. I'll get around to it. So, I think that I have got to number 1. I have not been rattling off the numbers. I had them stacked, so. Like I said, this was tough, and some of the people that I had to leave out. So, I mean, I tried to be as true to my reading habits as I possibly could, and it wasn't easy at all. So, my number 1 favorite writer, drum roll. Some of you may guess this, some of you may not. Some people might have thought it was going to be Aldine Foster. Harlan Ellison. Speculative fiction. This is like, I have no mouth and I'm a scream. If you haven't read it, what the crap are you waiting on? Vic and Blood. Just another awesome story. I think I've pretty much read everything that he's written. I'm going to have to check and make sure. I need to go through some books, the selections on Amazon, make sure. And then, of course, we have his teleplay, which is one of my favorite episodes on Star Trek is The City on the Edge of Forever. So that is it, and you know, it's pretty sad. I had to leave out Hemingway, Kurt Vonnegut. Just glancing over here, I had to chuck Frank Herbert to the side, and he wrote Dune, which was one of my favorite sci-fi novels. But like I said, this was really tough. Like I said, at first I was like, there's no way I can come up with 15 of my favorite authors. Turns out there's a whole lot more. And there was, you know, I should have done some honorable mentions like Adrian Tchaikovsky, who wrote Children of Time, and Ayobami Adebayo wrote Stay With Me. But we could only pick 15, so this was tough. And Steve tagged everybody, so this is a universal tag. So if you fit into that everybody category, I recommend you do this tag. There goes the friggin' phone. So thanks for watching. I gotta go. Bye, my friends.